So, welcome back. Boom. Look at that, we are not going to waste any second today. Not with the Lasiodora parahybana. Because in case you hadn't noticed already, today's video is going to be something for all the tarantula and scorpion fans again. Since I recorded plenty of footage from all the invertebrates in the collection and will record some more also, so I can do a nice big strike compilation again. Let's see how it goes, but again, this is the Lasiodora parahybana right there. A young female specimen. Look, she's doing a bit of a defensive display. Ooh, but now she's going to hunt down that roach, see? Very nice. Went right after it. This is the Nhandu coloratovillosus. They are very good eaters, as you just saw right there. Oh, boom. Look at that. I need to keep reminding myself that I need to start recording sooner, not the second I throw in the feeder insects, because some of these spiders, they do strike so quickly that within the second that the camera needs to start recording, the prey item is already locked inside the fangs of the spider. But this is the Brachypelma boemei. The Mexican fire leg tarantula is the common name, and you can tell why. The boemei are, in my opinion, probably the most pretty Brachypelma species, second to the Brachypelma classi. So let's see here. Oh, there we go. I think that was the strike already. This is the Chromatopelma cyaneopubescens. The green bottle blue tarantula is the common name, I think. But it's a very pretty spider, still a young specimen, also a young female. Wasn't very energetic, the takedown. Usually she is much more active when it comes to hunting down these roaches, but this one just rocked. So she's going to be hungry for sure. Oh, look at that. Yeah, that's what I mean. She's going to hunt down that roach. Just wait till it starts moving again. Oh, never mind. That was the strike right there. This is the Lasiodora striatipes. Certainly one of the larger tarantulas within my collection. I don't know if you can tell, since the cage she lives in is rather large as well. But I have to admit that I'm not really too big of a fan of these front opening cages anymore, because if they hunt down the prey items like this, it can happen that they accidentally jump out from the front and can fall down, which is a bit dangerous for them. So here we got the Nhandu tripepii. Very nice. Another pretty spider species from Brazil. They are commonly called the Brazilian giant blonde tarantula, if I remember correctly. And you can tell why, even though this specimen is not very giant at all, since it is still a young female also. But I can't wait to see her grow up to her mature size. Then they are very impressive spiders, with those nice long blonde hairs especially too. Very pretty for sure. So here we have another one of my personal favorites. Ooh, look at that, she definitely noticed it is feeding time, even though she didn't strike already. But this is the Acanthoscurria chacoana. Again, easily one of my absolute favorites from the collection in regards to tarantulas. Not only because of her temperament and strong feeding response, but also just from how beautiful she is, you can tell. However, you can also tell that that roach is very keen on not making any movement, see? You need to keep in mind that the tarantulas hunt primarily by their sense of vibration, and if the prey item just holds still like this, they can't really notice if it's there or not. Again, these spiders, they have very poor eyesight and are almost completely blind, even though they have 8 eyes, of course. They are only seeing well enough to maybe distinguish day from night. But other than that, they can't use their eyesight to detect prey, so they need to rely on the prey items to move around to sense them and coordinate a strike. But let's give her some time. I feel like if I would now interfere with the tweezers, she would just go nuts and start biting my tools instead of the prayer item, and we don't want that either. So we're just gonna wait, I guess. Oh, there we go. So I figured I'm gonna throw in another prayer item, since I wanted to feed her too anyway. And that also made that roach start to move around. Maybe she is going to attack it now also. Or maybe not. The tarantulas, they are able to take down 2 prey items at a time easily. At least if they are a bit smaller than the spider itself, but apparently she is satisfied. Ooh, there we go. This is the Grammostola pulchripes, the golden knee tarantula. Absolutely stunning also. And she is more or less adult at this size. Very pretty too, with a lot of these urticating hairs, which can be a bit annoying at times, but usually it's not too bad. I still definitely prefer all the New World species over the old. So here is the Acanthoscurria geniculata, and she never wastes any second, or it's actually not even a female. Sorry, my bad, this is a male specimen actually. Still a very young one though, so he has still plenty of life expectancy ahead of him, which is the reason why I bought him anyway. If you don't know already, with the tarantulas, it's only the females that can live to up to 20 years or even more, which have that long life expectancy, while the males usually only live a few months after they had their last molt, which is a bit unfortunate. So let's give him a second one. There we go. Just as fast. I didn't even see the roach right there. But whatever. By the way, these are commonly called the white knee tarantula, I think. But I have to remind you that I'm not too good with the English common names. I do find to be a lot of them also a little bit confusing at times, and I still just prefer the scientific ones. But whatever. So check her out. This is the Pterinopelma sazimai, or Lasiodora sazimai. I think they got a rename. But she is right out of the mold and looking extra pretty, so I wanted to take the opportunity and show her to you guys with that really nice dark blue coloration. Absolutely stunning looking, if you ask me. Easily one of the most beautiful New World tarantulas, and no feeding for her since she's right out of mold and her fangs need to harden up a bit first. So let's continue with a few scorpions. Starting off strong with the Androctonus australis. There we go. One of the most venomous scorpions. Look at him. He's not even going to sting that roach. Very interesting. Usually he stings his prey items right away. But not this time for some reason. Whatever. But that roach is going to make a nice big meal for him. See right there. I switched from these quick hits to roaches just because I got a little bit annoyed with all the noises the quick hits make. I don't know. So here we got the Hadrurus arizonensis, and he grabbed the roach already, see? Commonly called the desert hairy scorpion. If you ask me, one of the most beautiful scorpion genus from the US, the Hadrurus scorpions. And look, he is delivering the stinger into the underside of that roach, just because it's a lot more easy for the scorpion to deliver the venom that way than trying to puncture the hardened exoskeleton from above. Very nice. Again, as I keep explaining in all the scorpion videos, I'm just such a big fan of all these Hadrurus species, and kind of sad about not having more variety within all of the genus represented in the hobby. You can pretty much only get the Hadrurus arizonensis, which are offered commonly, but the other species are much more rare to find in captivity. So let's see here. This is the Aegaeobuthus gibbosus. He is going to get a roach as well, if he's interested, but usually he's a very good eater and never skips a meal ever, so I can't imagine that he wouldn't want a roach. Let's see here. Oh, there we go. That's what I mean. He's going to deliver his sting right away too. Oh, there we go. That's what I mean. Right in the underside. The venom can be delivered more easily. Just saw there that the roach seemed to hold on to a rock from the substrate to protect itself, maybe. I don't think that was the thought process, but I've seen these roaches do that a few times already, which sometimes is a bit of a problem for the scorpion, because they aren't as easily to sting than the crickets, for example. So, and the death stalker is going to get a roach too. The Leiurus lybicus. Ooh. He's not going to let it escape at all. Very nice, and it's just a small roach. I think it's hard to tell, but that scorpion is rather small still also. I'm not even too sure if these Leiurus lybicus are just a smaller species of death stalker in general, or if he is going to grow a bit larger in the future. We are going to see, but you can't find too much information about some of these more rare Leiurus species. The most well-known death stalker is of course the Leiurus striatus, and you can find plenty of information about that species, but with the others not so much, but it is assumed that they are probably very comparable in venom level, so probably pretty deadly also, no doubt about it. And next up we got the Hottentotta franzwerneri, a very pretty species of alligator bag scorpion is the common name, I think, for most of the Hottentotta species at least. And he did grab that roach, see? But he doesn't appear to be too interested. Let's have a look. There is a very pretty scorpion with that nice contrast with the... Ooh. Oh, I just let it go. I guess he's not interested. Let's see. Maybe we try again. Oh, he is heading to the water dish, it seems. But usually I like to feed them first and then let them drink. Oh no, he's definitely not interested, see? He's heading straight for that water bowl. Seems like he's thirsty instead, see? That's a bit unusual. Usually I actually fill up the water dish after I'm feeding them and not before. So this time he decided that he rather wants to drink something than feed, which is fine also. I'm just going to wait until he's finished drinking. It is kind of interesting. You actually see them very rarely drink. So here we have another thirsty scorpion. This is the Hottentotta buchariensis, and he is also having a drink. So I thought I will take the opportunity to explain how I keep my desert scorpions nice and hydrated, because even though they don't get much water in the wild, they will need to drink at some point. However, they do not tolerate a high air humidity. So what I do is I basically offer water in these small dishes once a week, and if they are thirsty, they will drink right away. But it is not very often the case that they are thirsty, so if they do not want to drink, I will just empty the water dish right away, because otherwise the water will just evaporate and then the humidity gets too high within the cage for these desert species. However, if they do drink, it usually does take quite some time. They drink for a few minutes and then afterwards also make the cage dry again, just like in the desert. So let's feed the emperor scorpion, the Pandinus imperator, a true emperor scorpion right there. They do get mixed up with the Asian forest scorpion sometimes, but they do look a bit different if you know what you're looking for. And he's acting a bit shy again, see? He doesn't want to be filmed, apparently. That's the thing with these mildly venomous scorpions, they are much more shy. So now that he is outside, let's give him another snack with this, oh, there we go, with this locust. And please excuse this really dirty water dish. Ooh, look at that. He just likes to hold on to the tweezers now. But what I wanted to say is with this water dish with him, of course they are not a desert species, but one that originates from tropical environments in Africa, where the humidity is very high actually. So we need to keep a full water dish within their cage, if you can. But he still does not want to let go of that tweezer. Let's see here. He is going to notice soon enough that this is not possible to eat for him, but we are going to give him a moment. But they are still very pretty scorpions, these emperor scorpions. And he's not even an adult specimen. They can grow even bigger than that easily. Oh, look, now he's trying to grab it with the other pincher also. So I fear I just have to kind of twist it to get him off. Trying to be gentle here. Yeah, there we go. So just take your locus and stop bothering the tweezer. There we go. So hope you enjoyed. I think that's going to be it.